is Alvin Brown, CEO and founder of the Center for Healing and Peak Performance and Integrated Peak Performance Services. I'm also the author of Journey to Personal Greatness, Mind, Body, and Soul, a blueprint for life, balance, and self-mastery, available at all your major bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon.com.ca, and in Canada, that chapter is Indigo Online. Also created the Journey to Personal Greatness Journal. It's a nice addition to the coaching package that I have. I'm a big one on journaling. You'll see that in all my videos. I hope you got your journal already. Doesn't have to be this journal. Any journal will help. I just want you to track your journey. Whatever you monitor and whatever you keep track of, it will improve. It will improve in a positive way, because finances, health, mental, spiritual, emotional, relationships, your visions, your goals, write it down. That's the first part of creation, is writing down what you want. The first part actually is thoughts. Your thoughts. The second part is in your journal. When it becomes physical, you know many businesses, or successful businesses, have been created over a napkin when they write it down. So that's what journal is all about. Pick your journal up and let's get it going. This is the Humpday Hustle. This is part of the week where we focus on the body. We give you tips on nutrition, tips on structure and function, tips on working out to help you. Because if you don't take care of this, I don't care what dreams you have, what visions, what passions you have, if you don't take care of this, it's all for naught. Because your mind might be willing, but your body's weak, you're not going to get there. All right, so we want to focus on that. And this is the way we flow. Monday mindset, so mind, body, and soul. Today, Humpday Hustle, it's about the body. And Saturday, Soulful Saturdays, we give you some nourishment for the soul to get you through the weekend. Remember who you are, your authenticity. They say that sometimes when you're climbing up that ladder of success, but then you get to you find out you're on the wrong wall. And that's what we want to do, make sure you're not climbing up the wrong wall. Remain who you are your authentic self. That's what Saturdays are about. All right, so this is short and sweet. I'm bringing back, if you watch Monday, I'm bringing back Mr. Ben Pakulski, one of the top bodybuilders. Just think about this, top 10 athlete in his genre in the world. Top 10. He's been number 2 at the Arnold's, and I was there to witness that. So it's been an amazing feat. We've been friends and associates since about over a decade now, and I've watched him come from an amateur to a pro, and now to this successful online entrepreneur. Plus, he's going back to the Olympia this year. In 8 weeks, he'll be back to the Olympia. So he's been a lot of successes, and he's one of his biggest success. He now has 3 kids. He's and a great partner at home. So all kinds of successes all around in his life, and it's been over a decade watching this manifest. So this is great. I'm happy to have him here. And what he's here for today is with the Humpday Hustle. Who else do I get to talk about the body and keeping it in the right physical shape than my man Ben Pakulski? All right, so let me get him started. I want to ask him a question today about if it's your first time in the gym. Some of you may not have entered the gym or bought a membership or know what to do. You walk in the gym and you're totally lost. And sometimes when I walk in the gym, I've been in the gym business since 23 years now as a personal trainer, and then I've been working out since. And I see newcomers come in, and they walk around, or a trainer's got them on the exercise ball, and they're balancing right out the gate, without even knowing what body feels like to push a weight, you know? So where do you start? So that's the question I want to ask Ben.
Thanks, Alvin. Great question. I think the biggest mistake people make is not narrowing their focus. So, like Alvin says, you're standing on a ball, you're trying to balance, you're trying to do 30 different things at once. Where's your focus? You don't know. I certainly don't know. So how can you identify what you're trying to accomplish? You can't. So narrow your focus to one single focus. So whatever that happens to be. If I'm trying to train my bicep, I'm only going to think about my bicep. I'm not going to stand on one foot, scratch my nose, and try to curl a dumbbell at the same time. I'm going to focus on the bicep. So I'm going to focus on what is this bicep doing, what's moving, and can I make it contract? So most people are trying to do a bench press, trying to make their chest work, or they think they're making their chest work, but they're not placing their focus on their chest. They're placing their focus on how much weight is on the bar, so not the right focus. So if you're trying to develop your chest, if your goal is trying to develop a muscle, singular focus. I'm trying to focus, let's talk about chest. So let's say I'm trying to train my chest, I'm going to do a bench press. Now, the first question you ask yourself is, do I feel this, and where do I feel this? If you're not feeling in the muscle you're trying to work, you're doing it wrong. I get a lot of people that come to me and say, Ben, how many exercises do I need to do to build my chest? Or what's the best exercise to build my chest? And the answer is, I have no idea, because you're different than me, who's different than Alvin. And you need to find that one exercise that works for you. First, start there. And if for some of you, it may not even be an exercise. It may be 3 inches of an exercise. So one of the ways I teach people how to exercise is I use 3-inch reps. Everyone can coordinate their brain and their nervous system to contract a muscle through 3 inches. At least they can take that conscious attention and focus on 3 inches of a rep. So I want you guys to try that. If there's a muscle maybe you don't feel really well, or if you're new to the gym, try 3-inch reps. And it doesn't matter where that 3 inches reps is to start. So if it's in the middle of let's say we're doing a bench press, we're just going to try to contract the chest and do 3-inch reps. Contract the chest, 3-inch reps. If it's a bicep, just 3-inch reps. And I want to focus on contracting that muscle through those 3 inches. And eventually 3 inches turns into 4, turns into 6, turns into 9. And being able to consciously coordinate and feel that muscle through that range is going to overhaul your body and overhaul your life. And that's where people go wrong. Why do people go wrong? Because it's hard. You're asking me to think in the gym? I thought it was supposed to be mindless meathead stuff. No, if you think. So to transfer that into nutrition, most people say, well, what's wrong with your body? Like, Alvin, or whomever, can I help you with your fitness? Well, my nutrition's not very good. So help my nutrition. Let me tell you a secret. If you're getting it done in the gym and you're actually contracting your muscles, your margin for error on nutrition is way bigger because you actually allow those muscles to now be open and receptive to nutrients. Most people go in the gym and they waste their time. They don't use their muscles. The muscles never become receptive to those nutrients. It's called nutrient partitioning. When I eat, I want to be in charge of what my body does with those nutrients. Does it go into muscle tissue? Does it go into fat? What happens to it? By training a muscle intelligently and actually using that muscle, those muscles now become like a sponge and become receptive to those nutrients, so it doesn't get stored as fat. So when people come to me and say, man, what can I do to change my nutrition? The answer is usually, well, learn how to train better. And if you want a tip specific to nutrition, I always say one thing, right? Create one new habit. And for most of you out there, that habit is change your breakfast. So what are you eating for breakfast? What you eat for breakfast dictates how your body's going to be using food for the rest of the day. Think of it as nutrient programming for the rest of the day. It's something called metabolic flexibility. So you're determining how your body uses fats, carbohydrates, proteins for the rest of the day. So I strongly suggest a high protein, high fat breakfast for most people. 95% of people do not need carbohydrates in the morning. I don't care what your terrible nutritionist online says, it's the best time for carbs. It's not the best time for carbs. I won't get into the specifics or the science of it. If you want to hear about that stuff, you check out my YouTube page, you check out my website, benpakulski.com. But take my word for it, try it for a week. A little bit of protein, some fats, and maybe some vegetables, something that's fibrous. You will feel 1,000,000 times better.
This is really going against, we were talking earlier during our treatment about conditioning, how we're being conditioned in our lives from day one, from the industrial age when we learn how to get up at what time and get up to work at what time, take our break at a certain time. Look at the highways, they're filled at a certain time, they're empty at a certain time. We learn. So we learn how to eat. And this came off the standard American diet back in the day when, what did you start your day with? Cereals.
Breakfast it's cereals. Cheap, and we're trying to feed the world. If we told the entire world to eat meat and nuts for breakfast, we'd all be eating each other because we'd run out of meat.
Yeah.
And nobody could afford it.
Exactly. And that's where the fat comes from, right? When you say eat fat, so a lot of people are thinking, the first thought of maybe that comes to the average person's head is fat. Does that mean
bacon
like
or butter?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Which is okay too.
Yeah.
Which is totally okay too. Okay. Don't be afraid of saturated fat. Saturated fat is not as bad as they say. Yeah. This is all very, very recent research that proves it unequivocally. Saturated fat is actually extremely good for you until you mix it with sugar. If you're mixing saturated fat, bacon, butter, beef with sugar, which it always is, what do you have on top of your pancakes? It's syrup and butter. What do I have on top of my bacon? I put some syrup on there. As soon as you mix those two, it becomes like a heart attack waiting to happen. Mm-hmm. If you keep them separate, they're fine. Saturated fat is good for you. It's actually great for hormone profiles. So things to think about, right? Nutrient combining.
Yeah, and he's 100% right. There's some great books out there, as Ben's saying. It's the latest thing coming out now, going against this idea, because there's been such an increase in Alzheimer's and so many brain disorders, and brain's a lot of fat. And we've been cutting out fat, and even the different medications that reduce fat in your diet, and they're fat-free, and no wonder we're having this increase in Alzheimer's, brain disorders, and nervous system issues, MS, and all these other conditions. So 100% right. He's on the cutting edge. That's why I suggest that I'm going to scroll his website on the bottom, You got to go check him out because he's up on the latest. Before we finish, those are the two things I want Ben to touch on. But before we finish, in the last video, he mentioned his company, MI40, and I love the origination of the MI. Talk just a little bit about the MI40.
Sure. So in 2011, I created a muscle building program for people who wanted an intelligent approach. So there's a lot of guys out there who just want to go to the gym and sling weights, guys, girls included. They just want to go, work hard, sling weights, whatever it happens to be. But there's a very large contingent of people who are looking for an intelligent approach to muscle building. So MI40 stands for muscle intelligence. 40 is 40-day programs. I really believe that 40 days is about the right amount of time before, one, you get bored, and before, two, your body stops responding in order to adapt to a program. So muscle intelligence, it's everything to do with building muscle, body recomposition, body transformation at the most high-end, thought-out level possible. I'm the one on the cutting edge. I'm the one who's a professional bodybuilder. I'm surrounded by scientists, the top trainers, the top coaches, the top doctors in the world that you don't have access to, and I have access to them. So I take all this information and I put it into one place and apply it to myself and my thousands of clients, my team, my ambassadors around the world. Apply this great information, and we're the ones doing the research for you, right? We're like saying, this works, this doesn't work, I got this result, like you got this result. So we're the ones behind the most cutting edge muscle building information on the planet. So I highly suggest, if you're interested in making the most of your time, especially in the gym, anyone who's a professional entrepreneur, you gotta make the most of your time. If you're gonna go in there, get something done, make the most of it. We're very, very efficient at getting the message out and teaching you guys how to get things done fast.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to, and you should also look forward to, when the MI40 discipline gets infiltrated throughout, so you can find a practitioner, a trainer somewhere close to you, anywhere in the world. So that's what Ben's kind of vision is to get this passion of, he joked about the meathead thing earlier, but that's kind of one of the motivators too, is he wants to show there's intelligence. See, a lot of people have this old school vision that they're just going in and lifting weights. There's intelligence behind. That's where Ben's kind of revolution is going. So real proud of that. And so that's great. This is where I want to leave you with that. I'm going to do my best I'd like to go down to Ben's gym in Florida. If you're in Tampa, if you're in the Tampa area, look him up. He's in there. Check him out. And so I'm going to go down there one day and check it out myself and let the student become the teacher and back and forth here again, and he can put me in some pain. So, all right. So until next time, this is Alvin Brown, Ben Pakulski. You want to thank him very much. Thank you, my brother. Until next time, visit our website, tchp.com, journeypersonalgreatness.com. Look up Ben Pakulski online, MI40, check it out. So until next time, I want you to be relentless in your pursuit for your personal greatness.